Hi. So this is Jibi and Hafiz here. We are trying out something new. We're trying to start a YouTube channel to basically convey a message or a series of messages all around one topic, which is to overcome your obstacles, to overcome limitations. We have a common theme in our discussion, which is around endurance sports, or which is around breaking physical limits. But that wouldn't be the only thing that we would be talking about. We would also be talking about breaking mental limits, breaking social limits, breaking all those barriers that life and its conditioning has put on you. So put on us, basically. So we'll get started with our introduction. So this here is Jibi. We call him Jibi sir because he's a professor at an engineering college, and but that's not what he's known for. He's done quite crazy things, quite crazy stuff that normal people would consider as crazy, like drive a gearless bike 350 kilometers. Yeah, 350 kilometers, sleepless, between Ernakulam and Kozhikode. These are two districts of Kerala, for those of you who don't know. And run 160 kilometers without sleep for 32 hours. Yeah, and take 1,000 push-ups in a day. How many pull-ups?
240 in 2 hours.
240 pull-ups in 2 hours. And so crazy under normal circumstances. But there's a lot of motive behind doing all these feats. It's all around, overcoming those limitations that one has set upon oneself. And that has set a mindset in him, and that all of us who look up to him will tell you unanimously that creates an unbreakable mindset. So over to Jibi. Tell us about your journey, and try to fill in on whatever I've missed.
So I can say that it started all in 2017. At the time, I just had my baby, and my wife was staying at her place. And it has been 4 months since the birth of my baby, and I was at home by myself. It was Onam. We were celebrating Onam as a family with my brother and my father and mother. And it occurred to me, why not do something? Why not pick up from where you left off 6 years back? So what happened 6 years back was I met with a bike accident that dislocated my knee, and I was unable to walk for 2 months. I had to use crutches to walk, and then onwards I was doubtful if I could ever be able to run again. So 6 years passed. Back in 2017, I thought, okay, the next day after Onam, why not go for a run? Why not do that run which happened 1 year before the accident, where I could not run continuously for kilometers? So that is a run that happens in my village every 3 years. So 2017 was the year that run would come again. I trained for that. It did not work out too well in the start, and within a few months, 2 months actually, I was able to run 4 kilometers non-stop.
With just no other training and with a broken knee, with an almost fixed knee.
As per the medical report, it was dislocated. It would never heal 100%. That's how ligament re-healing works. They never heal 100%. The maximum we can hope for is 80%. But hopefully, with certain strengthening exercises and with a lot of confidence, I was able to come out well at the other end.
So, GB, take us through whatever made you this crazy.
So it started out with a simple run. In 3 months, I was able to do a half marathon. That's 21 kilometers. And on the 4th month, I jumped to twice the distance, being a full marathon.
In the 4th month of you starting running.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's from 800 meters to 42 kilometers in 4 months. That was a midnight run. And then the next year, I thought, okay, why not go for push-ups? Why not see how long can I endure taking push-ups in 24 hours? So the first attempt, I got stuck at 900 push-ups in 24 hours. The next year, I broke that. I reached 1000. And the next year, I was able to do 1000 push-ups in 100 minutes. So that's 10 push-ups every minute for 100 minutes. And the next year, I thought, why not go for the max number push-ups in 24 hours? I was able to do 3000 push-ups.
Did that come close to the world record?
No, not even close. The world record is 47,000 or 50,000 push-ups, which I believe it is.
Crazy. So there is a crazy beyond. You're crazy.
And some may call me that, but I just have to say that I'm not crazy. I'm just not like you.
A little bit about myself. Nothing even close to the spectacular things that JB has said. I'm just an aspirational runner, and I think that running has helped me break a lot of mental limits that I'd put on myself, and this is what I want to give to the rest of the world. Whoever thinks that they are bound by whatever limitations that their upbringing or conditioning or society has, or even the self has placed on them, these are just imaginary. And what taught me that was running. I just started this activity 2.5 years ago. The maximum limit that I've ever run up to is 35 kilometers, but I've ran non-stop for 5 hours up a mountain and down. You've done that for 10 times a day. So up a hill actually. So that's my story. Just because I'm also in this video, I've just taken some screen time to tell who I am. So what we decided for today's conversation was this topic about what other people think. What will they think? And that is probably the most limiting thing that every one of us has ever faced. It's not even if I can do this or not. What will other people think? If I go out on a run, people will think, am I crazy? If I go out and do something this incredible a feat that normal people cannot fathom, what will they think? That's just about endurance sports, but there are a lot of things that are impacted in our lives because of that thought, that limiting thought. What will others think? You've written about it in your book. So by the way, GB has written a book. We'll talk about the book sometime later. But you have a lot to talk about this particular topic.
Exactly, because there's a reason why I included that what will others think as the first chapter in my book. So before I just open about that, let's take 2 steps back, all the way to childhood. Whenever a baby is born, the baby is born with just 2 fears. One being fear of loud noises, and the second being fear of falling. So the 3D comes into play in a baby's brain. All the other types of fears have been conditioned and brought up by their parents.
Constructed.
Fed into the mind of these children by their parents. Of course, some are necessary. No parent would want their child to get hurt. But in that process, many other things accidentally get into their brains too. And after the age of 2 years, if you look at children, they do not really mind or give a care in the world what others think. They're in their own world. They're really productive. They're really creative. They're really crazy. They're like little random creatures running about. After 2 years, their body start to get stronger. They start to grow in height, and then they start to reach in things and put themselves in danger to an extent. So it is at this time that the conditioning really starts into a child's brain, and it is at this time that the child starts going outside of their parents' circle, and it is at this time that the child starts to give weightage to others' opinions too. So I would try to elaborate that with the first chapter in my book, with my own daughter's example. So I have a 4-year-old daughter called Noah, and what happened was, when she was 3 years old, 3.5 years old, almost 4, I invited her to my gym. So this was around her 4th birthday, and I thought, Noah, why don't we go to my gym and cut the birthday cake over there? It would be something different. And the very first question that Noah asked me was, Appa, will they make fun of me? So I was really amazed, like, if my 4-year-old daughter has the capacity to to think like that, what would that mean for the rest of us with our superior intellect and experience? So how much times would that be multiplied in our lives? Because we definitely live in a society where dependent on others. So that got me into thinking.
Care a lot about what others think.
Exactly. So that is why I put that chapter as the very first topic in my book. What will others think? So coming back to an adult's life, people make great decisions all the time. They make incredible decisions all the time. They make life-changing decisions all the time. But in 10 seconds, they start to think, what will my wife think, what will my kids think, what will my neighbor think, my parents.
What do our friends think? What will our friends think?
Will I be kicked out of my friend circle? These things start to cloud.
Will I be valued enough by my friends?
Exactly.
So-called friends.
So those are the the measuring stick that we use. Our friendships, our friends. Now just imagine another case where a child or a person is not judged by the society. They are just encouraged, because that's what children at the young age have been exposed to. Whatever they do, their parents do just one thing: they just clap to encourage them. As the years pass by, as children grow up, this gets reduced. They are no longer encouraged as much as they used to be when they were young.
Right.
So
they're just subjected to a lot of, don't do that. Don't do this. No.
Stay away from the water.
Stay away.
You'll drown. So imagine a place where children are just supported for what they are. Just imagine all the different types of diversity that will happen in a child's behavior or in their abilities.
I have a point to add there. So a fear that's going on in the back of my head, even as we shoot this video for YouTube, is that, should I really put it out there? Are we like talking a bunch of stupid stuff? And what will people think of us once this goes live? My main intention of doing this video itself is to break it. Will I be, perceived as this or that by whoever's seeing this, or my peers, or whoever it is? But I just want to break free from that.
The thing about that is, even those people who you think are judging you, how long are they going to keep judging you?
They have other things to do in life.
They have their own lives to get back to. So, it's just a very narcissistic or a very egoistic point of view that we think, okay, I am the biggest person in the room. When you're actually not. Even these Hollywood stars or any celebrity you take, do you think anyone cares when they come into the room? Because people have their own things to do. So,
but a lot of people will care if if a celebrity biggie comes into the room.
But for how long? That's my question.
For how long? Yes. If he's there for an hour, we'll give him all the attention. If he's there for a day, a little of that attention dies down. If he's there for more than a day, yeah, he's just another person in the room.
Exactly, you start to get more familiar.
So what is your lesson here? How do lesser beings like us, like me, overcome this fear of what others would think?
So just because you call yourself a lesser being, I'm just going to reframe that. So okay, I have done so and so things. I have ran this. I have swam, bike, etc. That's great, but I wouldn't define great as something that I can do and you cannot. So greatness to me is if you did something more than yesterday, then by your own standards, you have just become greater.
Oh yeah, those are some fine words. Salute to that.
So
So I'll just try to rephrase that. So if you've done something better than yesterday, you have achieved greatness for yourself by your own standards, and nobody can set those standards for you. So just have this in mind, and I think this could be a mantra for progress.
Definitely.
So you were saying,
Yeah. I was getting back to that. What I was saying was that the reason that we have will drive us forward in life. If the reason is strong enough, we tend not to look at others' opinions too on the process. So if it's someone that who wants to start running a marathon or just get into running, if he or she finds a strong enough reason, being why not register for a marathon? So we have the Kochi Spice Coast Marathon coming up. So for a person who hasn't even started running, what he can do to drive his passion or drive his mind is just go and register for that marathon. So now he has a purpose, he has an aim, okay, and I'm sure he doesn't want to fail miserably in that run. He wants to perform as best as he can. So I think that is one way to drive a person.
So you
Find a
set
reason.
goals for yourself, and those goals become your reason.
Exactly. And one other thing is,
And that helps you overcome, that reason helps you overcome the notion of what others will think.
and
Because that you have a more clearer view of the objective. Is that, can you just get into that in detail?
so a marathon, it consists of at least around a 42-kilometer run consists of around at least 42,000 steps or close to that. So how do you reach 40,000 steps? People tend to think of the end goal, but they tend to forget the every step that's made on the way. So how do you make a long journey? Take the first step. You take the first step, be proud of that, analyze that, and then just share it with others. When you start something, definitely there will be people watching. People are watching. The people who judge you and the people who are going to support you too. Find a good environment, get support. So if you don't have your own tribe to support you, there's definitely the tribe out there.
There is a tribe out there for everybody. As we see in today's day and age, there's a tribe for everything.
Especially because the world has become a smaller place with all the internet and the groups and the YouTubes and the comment section. So
And the
there
WhatsApp
are people
groups.
out there.
Yeah. Moving away a little from endurance sports and athletics, so this what will others think is an element that clouds our brain when we're attempting anything. Okay, be it a YouTube video, be it a project at work, be it something funny or romantic that you're trying out with your wife, or be it some adventure that you're planning with your family. There's always that question. It's a social evil. Being worried about being judged. Outside the plane of endurance running, how would we answer that question?
So this is saying that the majority is always wrong. The majority is always wrong, and the minority is seldom right. Is sometimes right. So why do people tend to follow a trend? Why do people tend to stick on to groups that are already prevalent in society? So I think it's because, one, we don't have to resist the common belief, even though we have beliefs of our own. We want to be included in, or we want to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So we tend to go for the easiest route, just being a part of the majority.
Right.
And the thing is, if we do tend to bring up thoughts of our own, we'll be ridiculed by the majority, because that has been working out for a long period of time, and we are not all the same. We tend to be unique.
Right.
We are born to be unique. The minority, and if you look at it, this is saying that the 1% of the people. This is common term called the 1%.
Right, yeah.
1% are billionaires. So they are definitely not among the majority. So I'm sure that at some point in their life, they may have had the similar thought to make a difference, to take the road less taken. And they have encountered, flack or opposition or judgment from the majority too.
Most definitely.
Because if you make a mistake, now the blame is all on you. If a person in the majority makes a mistake, I can say that I was following the trend. I just did what you did. Because we are in this together.
So there's lesser blame.
There's lesser blame. But the thing is, your situation has not changed.
Yeah, you're still there.
You're still there. I may be able to, just divert the my failure to others, because I can say that you too did it. But I'm still at the same position. So that's where having your own thought, having your own belief, setting up your own belief systems will help you to find a way. Because when you're on your own, the drive to succeed becomes that much more. It's actually a pressure.
Right.
It's actually a point of pressure where you have to come up with a solution. And at that time, certain things that did not work before in your brain starts to open up. You start to go for that solution that was kept aside, because now you have to find that solution, and that's how your brain starts to operate differently, and that's how you get things done.
So you talked about your daughter Nova raising a question like what will others think, or
Will they make fun of?
will they make fun of me? Okay, so I have a similar experience, and we'd bought my 4-year-old daughter Awa a new dress. It was basically a good-looking jumpsuit. Okay, so she thought it was funny too when she wore it for the first time. But then one day we sent her to school wearing that. Okay, we thought it was cute, and she wanted to wear it because it was new. Okay, but then the question that she raised was, what will my friends think? What will my friends think? And this is about a piece of garment. And I'd heard her raise this another time also, and I don't really remember what it was, but it was, I think, it was something related to her wearing something. It was a bag, I think. So this is somehow, instilled in children. It's a common evil. So I think we'll have to discuss about this. What could parents do to remove such limiting thoughts from children? It could pave, doing so successfully, it could pave an array of possibilities for the child, which in normal conditioning he or she would be absent from. So what is your take on that?
It's very easy to build something up, but deconstructing it is really hard.
Oh yeah.
You can take the case of building, renovating your own home. That costs more compared to just bringing it up. So catch them young. The best time to do that is by the time of 3 years old, and if not then 7 years of age. So that's when all of the basic behaviors and habits of a child will have formed.
Will have set in.
Yeah, and everything after that is extra work that will be taken care of by the parents too. So what I have done in my life with my daughter is that I have set her on a path where she has to take part in some competitions. The thing that happened recently was I enrolled her in a 5-kilometer beach run.
Yeah,
It's an Alappuzha beach run.
I did see that video.
Yeah, that is the first run that
Really?
she took part in. And why I did that was I wanted her to have accomplished something in her childhood. So she did complete that run in 1 hour's time with me in the beach, and never once did she complain that she wanted to stop, she wanted to quit that run. So now what is going to happen is this memory will stay with her till she dies. I'll make sure that she remembers this throughout her life. And there will come a point in life where she will encounter or face some difficulty in her life. It may be physical, maybe mental, or whatever it may be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her to a time when she was 5 years old. I'm going to say to her that, listen Nova, when you were just 5 years old, you were able to run 5 kilometers. How many children could do that at that point in time? How many children have taken part in such runs? If you could do that then, when you were just 5 years old, you still have more potential in you. You still have the strength to take on bigger and better load and challenges in life.
Right.
So that will definitely set her into thinking. I think you're right, Appa. I did that back then. So by definition, I am still strong. It's still in me somewhere. So if I can do that, why can't I do this right now? Why can't I
Absolutely.
face this? Why can't I overcome this obstacle?
Oh, you've set a mighty precedent, and that will help her overcome a lot of things. Yeah, this is our first attempt. You might not like what we see, but we really don't care. We're going to air this episode, and it might be valuable. We tried to be honest, and we tried to be useful, and that's
Because if this can benefit even just one of you out there, that in itself is a reward to us.
That's absolutely the goal of this initiative. Thank you for being here if you're still there, and yeah.
Yeah, catch you in the next episode.